about the which mapping? One to many mapping. So how we are achieving one to many mapping? So what is the purpose of one to many mapping? So at what time we are going with the one to many mapping, we are understanding. And I think, let me open this class. It's what to. Okay, so we tried with the delete operation also in yesterday scenarios, right? So what's happening with respect to delete operation here? One to many. The many records are going to be deleted related to this one record. Simply many records are going to be deleted when you are passing the main record or one record information. So cascading of delete operation. Okay, so let's see here. So the same way you have to follow for other relationships also, like many to one, many to many, but you have to make sure the configuration between entity classes is important with respect to JPM mappings. So let's take another mapping called as many to one mapping. Okay. So what is the meaning of many to one here? So at what kind of scenarios you can take many to one? Something like course student. Yeah, sorry, students versus course. Many students, single course. Or many students, sorry? Yeah, something. So many employees belongs to one department. So many employees belongs to one department. So such a scenarios, so I can define students versus course. So here you can take, there are so many students will be available, but when it comes to course, only one course. So I can take one of these scenarios. Similarly, all the employees versus the department oriented. So like that, you may take so many solutions. We can take any number of examples wherever we are involving. So that's what. In this case, if I return like this, so what is this relationship again? One to many relationship, course versus student. So that's why I told you how to define mappings, how to enable mappings. So how you are going to understand is, so the way you're, okay, the priority wise where you're making the priority or which functionality you're trying to make as a, okay, I mean, it's just like centralized functionality or which is making a main object here. So that is what, based on that, you have to define the mappings. So in our case, so whenever I'm talking about the students belongs to the course. So here students I'm taking as a primary thing. So that's why, so I can define many to one relationship, many to one relationship. Similarly, employees versus department also. So how to achieve many to one relationship? Again, same story. So the annotation here it is, JPA provided many to one annotation. So by using this annotation, we are mapping tables associated to many to one relationship. Many to one relationships. So mostly you will say many to one to many relationships in most of the scenarios. Okay, the priority wise or maybe the highest usage point of view, you will encounter almost most of the times one to many as well as many to one you will see mostly in every application, and then one to one you will see, but as well as many to many usage is very less when it comes to many to many also. Okay. Okay, so for example, if I am taking same scenario again, here it is, like if I am taking employee comma department, So if I have employee table, as well as department table. So here many employees. So employee 1, employee 2, employee 3, employee 4, 5, 6. Like that, if I have employees, they may belongs to only one department. For example, I have department ID 100 and it's IT department. So here, assume this employee 2 joined as IT department. Similarly, employee 5 joined as IT department. So now assume one more department is there, something like 101. It's something like engineering department or whatever it is. So in case the employee 1 joined as engineering department, similarly, the employee 3 joined as engineering department. So in this case, this is all representing the many records. So that means employee 2 comma 5 are belongs to which departments? 100 department, right? So that means many records are associating with how many records for the from the opposite table? So only one record. So that's why. So in such cases, we are going to define many to one relationship now. So this is what many to one relationship. So how we are going to enable many to one relationship here also? You can use joining column here also. So that means, for example, okay. So in case if I want to maintain many to one relationship, so here also I can maintain. Yeah. So a joining column concept I can maintain. So by using joining column, I can define 100 followed by the, okay, 1 belongs to 101. So opposite to the joining column, I will write down 101. 2 belongs to 100. 3 belongs to 101. 4 belongs to, okay, nothing. I mean, we need to enable one, but assume he also belongs to 103, something like that. 5 belongs to 101. So like this, I'm going to maintain a joining column again as part of this table. So that, so whenever you want to see employee 1 belongs to which department, so in the joining column, you will have a mapping. So from this joining column, you will see 100 is available or not. Okay, so yes, 100 is available so that you can say, I mean, 101, right? So he belongs to engineering department. 1 belongs to engineering department. So based on this joining column is helping us to maintain the relationship between employee comma department table. So let's see how we are implementing with respect to JPA mappings here also. So let me close all this. Give me a second. Okay, so I just copy pasted project so that application.properties is fine. Okay, so I'll delete address. I'll delete all address related properties. Okay, so see here. So I'm not done anything. So I just taken a new project, just copy pasted and I kept only employee. So I don't have any other table. We will define the table as department table now. Okay, so service class, just empty classes I written. Okay, let me write down a department class also. Nothing but entity class. Or else. Okay, so I'm making this class as a entity class. Similarly, this is at the rate table I'm making. Let me verify what are the tables I have. Okay. So here I'm just taking private integer department ID. String department name. So you can take extra columns later. So I'll make at the rate data so that I can get setter getters. Okay, so I'll make this one as at the rate ID. Okay. So I just created only department and entity class, sorry, employee and department classes, entity classes. As of now, I did not define any relationship between employee comma department. So now in such case, in our case, now we are going to define or we are going to achieve many to one relationship. So how we are going to achieve many to one relationship? So let's see here, many to one, that means employee versus department. So with respect to employee, we are defining the relationship. So we have one employee, sorry, many employees are belongs to one department. So with respect to employee, now tell me where we have to do the changes. I mean, where we are going to define the relationship in either it is a department class or employee entity class. Employee entity class. So that's why this analysis is important. Whenever you are doing the coding, blindly don't do the coding. Whenever you are getting any problem, any question also, it requires some analysis. It requires some, okay, so design analysis, solution analysis, whatever it is, you can call it as. So you just make sure understand the requirement, which is main objective, which is primary things here. So from where you have to define the relationship. So based on that, you have to make the coding. So in this case, I'm just talking about employees versus department point of view. So that's why many to one I am going to define. So go to the employee class, define department class, whatever you written. So yes, departments. Okay. So here you are going to say like employee, many employees belongs to one department. So that means the annotation is many to one. Okay, so just try to make sure cascade equal to cascade type dot all. Okay, so here I will use joining column, my own joining column. So you know the joining column now. So just I will give the name equal to employee underscore department underscore ID. Okay. So see here now. So many to one. So many representing the current class, current entity, current table. Okay. Many records of employee or many employees belongs to one department, belongs to one department. So that is how we define the relationship here. Okay. So let's go to the create a given. Okay. Let me create the tables first. I mean, let's see how the tables are created. So that's what important again here. Before going with that. So I think I need to write down one more repository for the department also. I have only employee repository. So let me write down department also. Okay, so let me give it here as department. Okay, so fine. So I just created two entity classes like employee comma department, and employee is having a many to one relationship with the department table. So let me execute Spring application. Okay, so I'll execute one more time so that I will avoid that exception. Okay, so these three, you know what is this drop and all based on the create? Okay, so see here, how many tables are created again? Two tables only created with the help of employee versus department underscore ID. What is this column? Joining column, what we defined. So based on this, you are going to maintain the relationship between the two tables. Employee detail table level, adding a foreign key constraint with respect to which column? I mean, we are calling it as a joining key column. So foreign key relationship with which what table? Department table. So references department in the sense, what is the meaning of which column? Primary key column. Always references to the opposite table in the sense foreign key relationship for the joint current table, current column is representing the column values of primary key column of this table. Primary key column values of this table. That's what the foreign key relationship here it is. So now employee detail is having a foreign key relationship with the department table of the column belongs to employee department ID from the employee table, and you know that internally it is always primary key column from the opposite table. Okay, so let's insert some data. Public void add employees. Okay, so I just taken three employees. Let me give data. So total 3 employees I created. Now assume these 3 employees belongs to only one department. Okay, so assume the department ID is like department ID is 10. So I'm going to give department name as IT. So do I need to assign department details for every employee or not? When you are inserting, we have to make a relationship or we have to say like employee 1 belongs to so and so department, employee 2 belongs to so and so department. Like that, we have to enable the relationship or we have to assign department details also. But do you have, so in such case, so generally in this case, when you are trying to assign, today assume a new employee is joined with 200 employee ID. Today, a new employee is joined. So by the time, do we need to maintain department IDs or not? So otherwise, how do we know how we are going to assign? It's not like for every employee, we are going to create a new department every time. No, right? So by the time departments are all should be existed. When you are onboarding an employee, when you are assigning an employee, when you are creating an employee, so by the time a department should be existed. But as of now, do we have any departments? We don't have. So, right. So what I'm going to do here it is. So I'll create a department ID now. Departments equal to new departments. So department 1 dot set department ID 10. So department name. So I'll give something IT department. Okay. So what I will do, I'll define here so that I can use it. Okay. So now what I will do, I will assign employee 1 dot set department ID. I'll create one more department. 11. Okay, so I'll make sure department 2 here for employee 3. Okay, so I have just created like this. And what I'm going to do now, repository, employee repository dot save of, I'm just passing one by one, employee 1. So here, employee 1, I'm inserting, employee 2, employee 3, I'm inserting. By the time, actually department IDs are available this time. So when you are trying to insert or saving the employee details, by the time, what is the dependency here? Department ID is a dependency or not in this case, right? So, but we have department table or department IDs in our department IDs. Do we have in our tables? No, right? We don't have any data. So let me refresh it. So if you go to the department, you don't have any data, just empty table. But let's try what's going to happen here, and then we will add department IDs. So I'll call this method from here service dot add employees. So calling add employees, department 2 departments. Why employee 1, employee 2 belongs to department 1, employee 3 belongs to department 2. But I'm saving only employee 1, employee 2, employee 3, but I'm not saving department details. So what I given here, is it none? Okay. Okay, so see here now. So same is happening or not? So let's do one thing. I'll divide everything. Okay, so if you see here, so what it is verifying, first of all, department ID is available or not? Is it available? No, right? Department ID is available in the department tables. No, it's not there. So that's why what it is doing, insert into employee, insert into department table, the department ID and department name, what we are passing as part of employee entity is inserted. Because of what is the reason why it is inserted automatically? Is it only relationship or are we configured anything else? Cascading operations, right? So we enable the cascade all, that's why. So it is verifying department is available or not. Not available, but department information is available inside the employee entity or not. Yes, it's available. So that's why what it is doing, it is taking data from the department entity and started inserting into department table. So now by using this department data, it started inserting data into employee table. So whatever the data it is inserted. So that means first insertion happened on department table. Now 10 IT is inserted in the department table. In this case, 10 comma IT is inserted. So here employee one is very clearly depends on the department ID called as 10. So by the time 10 is available or not this time? Yes, it is available. So that's why it's just inserted 101 comma like 10, the employee details 1 and everything is inserted into this table. Similarly, it is verifying for other details also. Okay. For another employee, second employee point of view, it is verifying so and so department is available or not. If not available, then again, yeah. So I mean, by the time this employee, so second employee we given for the same employee ID or sorry, same department ID or not. So that's why what it is doing, it's directly inserting into, so it's verifying department ID 10 is available or not. Is it available? Yes, available. So that's why it's directly inserting into employee details, something like 102 belongs to which department ID? 10 ID. So now similarly moving to the third employee. Third employee, what we did in our logic? Third employee. So we are giving a new department for the third employees. So that means by the time it is calling the save method or by the time you are inserting the employee 3 method, sorry, employee 3 details, by the time department 2 is available, no, right? So that is what it is cross verifying here it is. So it's just checking for the third employee point of view. First of all, that employee is available or not. And for that employee, department ID, whatever you given, something like 11. 11 engineering we given, right? So 11 is available or not? It's not existed. Okay, no data. So then it started inserting 11 comma engineering into table level. Now by using this 11, it's inserted the employee ID 103 is associated to the 11 records. So this is how internally the entire mappings are happening. See how the things are happening internally, how the cross checks are happening internally. So you have to understand, you have to practice so many examples. If you are making small thing, it will confuse you like anything. Okay, so you just need to analyze this queries also. It's not like, okay, your example is working so that your practice is completed. Don't make sure whatever you written here and whatever you executed successfully and records are available in the table, that everyone will do. Okay, copy paste person will also do that. But how to understand what's happening? So just understand, try to analysis as much as possible. Try to understand why they written left join. So what is the result of, so what is the result you will get? If you are executed this result, so you can do all these things where it is. Yeah, here. So just execute and observe what's happening. You give an employee ID and 101. So just try to give the results. Manually also, you can execute left to join. So what is the result you are getting? So what it is observing. So after that, department ID. So what? So just try to understand. That's what I'm trying to say. Understand how the flow is executed, how things are happening. So for example, right now I given you an analysis, how things are happened. So how it is verified the department ID, if not available, it is inserting, and then employees inserting. Without department, employee is going to be existed? Generally, no. That's why the priority wise department is inserted first and then employee details. Second employee level, by the time already 10 is available. That means a department is already existed. So that's why what it is done, it's feeling like, okay, department is already existed. Let's insert only employee details and associated to that department 10 like that. Okay, so this is how you are going to achieve the many to one relationship here. Okay, so what I will do, I'll move to the next relationship. So you just try with delete operations, all these things, delete operations as well as select operations. Okay, let me show you the data. Sorry. So two departments, 10, 11. So here, this is what the table, employee ID 101, 102, 103. So 101, 102 belongs to 10. So that means this joining column is making a relationship here, and this 11. So as it is same way, the things will happen in real time project, guys. You don't think, okay, like something like that. Beyond this, you are going to write down in real time. Okay, 70 to 80% of the real time logics, what you are going to do is almost same kind of concepts. For example, I told you, right? So we will have a main table called as, in my case, order table. And we will have one more table called as order follow up. And we will have one more table called as like order history. Or one more table we will call it as something like order follow up, order history. So we will have so many other tables also, like payment table, order payments, or third party payments, third party payment details, or order payments. Payments. So this is what I told. This is order details. And this is order follow up. Notifications also. Or communications, whatever it is. So see here, now in this overall case, can you guess which is the main element of the table here? Order details is the first thing, because first time order will be generated. Then next time onwards, follow up, sending notifications, okay, the payment details, whatever it is. So first thing is order point of view. So here, for example, in my project, assume an order ID is created like 1002, okay, or 10,002, whatever it is. So this is created with order ID and all the order details. So now tell me, this same value I'm going to use as a foreign key relationship or joining key column in every table or not? Yes. So this column is going to be maintained in every table as a joining column. Okay, like that. Okay, so in this case, again, order follow-up table is going to have its own primary key column. Its own primary key column, something like follow-up ID, something. Follow-up ID, a primary key column. But what about this 10,002? Okay, so this value is just like a foreign key relationship with respect to the main table. So 1002 is associated to this primary key column. So here 1002 is just acting as a joining column. So in this case, what is the relationship I can define between order details versus order follow-up? One to many I can do. So I will do a lot of follow-ups, right? See, follow-up in the sense, maybe based on the requirement, it will change. Assume follow-up in the sense, I'm going to follow up the order. So what is the status of order? Okay, where it is? Is it with vendor? Is it delivered to the so-and-so patient or not? Is it, that is what the follow-up. So is it, first of all, order is created, that is fine. So immediately order will go to the dispensing partner, nothing but medical shop, assume like that. So then medical shop level, maybe he may reject that order. The reason is he don't have stock. He don't have stock. By the time you don't have the stock something, or maybe he's having its own problems. There might be a chance of rejected by the dispensing partner. Our dispensing partner is accepted. Then next stage is delivery partners will coming into the picture. So that means delivery agents. So delivery agents may do the delay. So finally it is delivered to the patient home. So this is all the order follow-up things. So that means by using single order ID only, I can track all these things or not. So that is what the meaning of one to many relationship here it is. Okay, similarly, notifications. So generally, how many notifications you are going to get when you are placing an order? You will get more than one or not. So definitely we will get it. Okay, your order is confirmed. Your order is ready to deliver. Your order is shipped. Like that you are going to get sometimes email communications, sometimes text communications, sometimes notifications on the mobile also, right? If it is mobile app, you are going to get the notification images, notifications or not. So same kind of things. Whenever you are receiving a notification, they will log. Okay. So and so time. So yesterday night, like 04 something, I mean, date wise, I'm just saying you, 9 p.m. a notification is sent via text. Okay, for the order ID 1002, something like that, everything will be noted in the table. Okay, everything will be logged. Everything will be logged. So in this case, what is the relationship again? One to many relationship. Similarly, payments. So what is the payment status of this order ID? So can you guess what is the relationship? How many payments will happen for one order? Only one payment, single payment you will do. You are not going to do like, okay, one time partial payment, 5 rupees now, 10 rupees now. No, we don't have, right? So single time. So that means here, payment ID will be generated as a foreign key. Sorry, primary key column, payment ID. Payment ID will be generated. But this is all foreign key relationship with this table. So because here the important thing is this order ID is the important thing. So here the rest data you will contain. So tomorrow, if you want to see the payment status of this order ID, so what you will do? You are making a foreign key relationship or you are making one-to-one relationship. When you are giving order ID and it is going to pick up all the payment details or not. Or if you define payment versus order as a one-to-one, if I given payment ID as, okay, assume payment ID is 11. So if I given find by ID of 11 from the payment table, you define one-to-one payment versus order. So are you going to get, when you given 11, automatically you are going to get what details? The foreign key relationship, order, entity details. So you will get 1000 order details. That means whatever the data available inside this table for that record, you are going to get all the details or not. So based on the cascade of select operation. So you're going to get, this is what I'm doing from last 1.5 years in my project. I mean, but still there are huge number of tables will be available. 100, okay, so number of columns will be there. But when you are drilled down from small to high level, okay, but reality wise, the same thing what you are understanding from last 2-3 days, or maybe if you are having good knowledge of foreign key relationships, that is what going to be happen in every real-time projects. Very, very important foreign key understanding the relationship between the tables. Okay, like foreign key relationships, all these things, how it is working, as well as joins, all these things. Okay, so this is what, so same thing, this is how we are doing in our project also. The architecture is going to be designed always like this. So they are going to maintain everywhere somehow a foreign key relationship between one table to another table. So now tomorrow, assume payment table is going to have a relationship with the dispensing partner table. So here in this case, dispensing partner, DP. Okay, nothing but medical shop or whatever it is. So here I will make dispensing partner ID as a primary key column. Dispensing partner ID as a medical column. And then next, so order ID, yes. And then payment ID. So what can I get from this? So order ID is 2, and payment ID, assume here what is the payment ID? 11. Okay, so like this. Now dispensing partner is tracking all the order details or not in a table point of view. So like that, they maintain the relationship. Or assume even I can delete order ID here, or I can keep order ID, something like that. Or I can delete here payment also. So based on the order ID, somehow I can get the payment details or not. Yes, you have somehow relationship. From the order ID 1,00,000, so from here to you have one year relationship. So that you can get payment details also as part of this table. So like that, you are going to write down the mappings or relationship between the tables. Okay, so let's take an example for the many to many also. Okay, so here I have many employees as well as roles. So that means, for example, assume employee 1, employee 2, employee 3, employee 4 I have. And I have some roles, employee roles. Okay, so associate, okay, let's do like this: development, testing, support. So for example, I have employee 1 join Dilip, and assume he is the senior person. Okay, so he has to do multiple roles. So that means he has to perform developer role. He has to perform sometimes testing role also, or at least he has to perform supporting role. Supporting role in the sense I have to support my project in a production environment, some environments oriented. So how I'm going to do that? So I mean, this is what. Similarly, one more employee joined with same experience, and he is also allocated with many roles. And this employee, so one more employee joined as a only testing. Okay, one more employee joined, fourth, he is expert. So he joined and he is going to do testing also, or he is going to do support also. So like that, sometimes you have to perform multiple roles. You are the only one person, but you are performing multiple roles. Depends on the scenario or depends on the situation. You have to assign multiple roles for a person. When a person is joining, or you have to assign multiple roles like that. So in this case, I can call it as a many to many relationship. So many records, many employees belongs to the many roles. Many employees belongs to the many roles. Okay, so if you take in solution oriented, so how I'm going to maintain relationship between employee versus roles table then? So I will give role ID, role name, something like that. But how I'm going to maintain the relationship between employee versus roles table? So is it possible with joining column? So our joining table, let's try to see here. So I can use here joining table as a solution. For example, this time employee ID 1, role ID is 100, employee 2, employee 3, employee 4 I have. So what I will do, somewhat a joining table, employee ID, role ID. And one more thing, please remember, solutions will be available in so many ways. Okay, don't think like whatever I'm saying, it is the only it is the only one solution. Okay, so when you are exploring the things, when you are masters in the DB knowledge, okay, when your experience is matter, when your expertise is matter, the solutions will is going to be changed. So why we will make sure the things are very simple manner here it is. It's all because of the standards or it's the understanding levels of your training. So that's why people will make it as simplified. But when you are going to the reality, so 70 to 80% same solution will be matching. But remaining 30 to 30% is all about expertise. It's all about the experience of the people will design the architecture or maybe the implementation of the solutions. Okay, so why I'm saying all these things is when you are referring any other, it's but it you we definitely we have to refer lot of forums. Okay, then we will understand how those experienced people are talking about the mappings, how they are okay performing mappings in their real time projects. Based on that they will write down a lot of okay bloggings or whatever it is. So then you have to just integrate the things what you learned, what they are discussing. You just need to correlate, you just need to compare, you just identify which is a better solution. You just try their solutions also, then you may get a better solution. So it's all about your self interest again. Okay, so that's what I'm telling you. So it's just try to explore the things always, you will get lot of ideas. Okay, so assume this is how the relationship is forming. So many So in this case, I will divide this into this way. Many employees. So that means if you are taking in this highlighted point of view, so whatever you just see here, so it's all about many employees. Many employees. So that means even let me make marking this one also. Okay. So if you see here, this left hand side, whatever you can see, these are all related to many employees. So many employees in the sense Dilip, Naresh. So if you observe here, especially many employees, many records. That means a single employee itself is having multiple relations. So here, observe here, looks employee wise only one employee, but this employee is allocated to the many roles. Single employee performing as a many roles. So here, this is what the meaning of many to many. So many in the sense one employee only, but one employee is acting as many employees, many roles. many roles. Same employee being acting as a some other roles, or he is acting as a many roles. So that is what the point of many to many here it is. So many employees versus many records. So one not, so that means in a simple short point of view, in a parent table level, how many records you are having? Many records. So with the combination of this, similarly, with the combination of this, how many records you are maintaining? So 100 and 102. What is this? Many records or not? So 100 comma 102. 44 101 comma 102. So that means this is what happening. 1 comma 1 is having 100 comma 102. So 4 comma 4 is having again 101 comma 102. So it's all about many or not? Many versus many. So that is how, so that's why I told you many to many is very rare case you will get the requirement to define the many to many relationship. But most of the times you will see one to many is very hugely, you will see in every application. One to many are in a reverse point of view, many to one, you will achieve so many areas. One to one, many to one, and some of the scenarios one to one only. But these three will be used heavily, but very rare case you will get many to many relationship. Okay, so this means, so here I can take solution of what? Joining table solution. So let me define that joining table also. Okay, I just copy pasted once again. I'm just making everything as empty. Okay, so see here, as of now, I just created only employee. We are not done anything with the roles. So I just employee repository, just a empty class. So let's define roles class, roles table or roles entity class. Then we will make a mapping many to many mapping. So here roles at the rate data, Lombok. Okay, so see here, employee versus roles, many to many, we have to define now. So that means when we are defining opposite table point of view, many to many, what is the data type you are taking? So when we are defining opposite table point of view, so what many records from the source side, I mean opposite table. So what you take in then? So even one to many level also, we take in a collection data type, right? So what is that collection data type? Yes. List of roles. At a time, one employee is assigned with how many roles? 2, 3 roles, right? So I can pass. That's why list employee dot set a list of roles. That is what Java level, if you are thinking. Okay. So here, what is the relationship again? Many to many. Sorry, many to many. Okay. So just make sure cascade. Okay. So here we are going to take a solution called as joining table solution. So let's do one thing. First, we will create as it is. We will try to execute what's happening, and then I will introduce. In case if we want to give our own joining table names or column name or table name, okay, instead of the JPA framework, whatever it is taking internally, instead of that, if you want to define our own joining table name, what you have to do, I'll try to give you the details. Okay, so let's do one thing. And here one more thing is what you have to do here it is you have to define bidirectional mapping in this case. Bidirectional in the sense, so even roles versus employee point of view, what is the relationship? Many to many relationship. So in such case, okay, I will involve step by step. First, let's create until this. What is happening? We will try to understand and then we will move to the next point. Okay, let me. Okay, so see here. How many tables are created? 3 tables are created. So second, okay, this we know, employee table, roles table. This is what? The joining table, employee detail, employee ID, roles table level, role ID. Roles table level, role ID. So that is what? This column is going to maintain foreign key relationship with this primary key column of employee ID. This column is going to maintain foreign key relationship with roles table of role ID. So the reason is when you are maintaining data as part of the joining table level, by the time the value should be presented in the source table as well as target table or not. So is it, can I say something in the roles joining table level, I given role ID as 200. Is it a valid? So 200 is available in the roles actually. I did not define any role with 200 ID. So how can I insert it? So that is what. So that's why when can I cross check whether it is really available or not in a Java, in a SQL point of view? References, nothing but foreign key. So when it is really available, then only you're trying to make insert here. So that's why a foreign key relationship between these two records, these two columns, a foreign key relationship. Similarly, a foreign key relationship between this column versus in this column. So in this case also, can I say like, can I insert employee ID like 33? So because first of all, employee 33 itself not there, then how can you assign here it is? So to make sure cross check, we should not allow somehow the 33 value as per this column. Then what is the option you have in SQL? Foreign key relationship, right? That is what the foreign key. When it is presented, then only insert. If not presented, throw an exception, throw an error. That is what the foreign key, that is what SQL, right? So when referencing in the sense, when presented, then only insert. If not presented, throw some exception, throw some error. Foreign key relationship, violation of foreign key relationship, you are going to get the errors, right, in SQL. So that is what the point here it is. So that's why now observe here, alter table, foreign key relationship, role ID belongs to the roles table. Foreign key relationship, employee ID belongs to the employee table. So that is how they created here. So in case if you want to rename this joining table name, okay, as your own name, then you can use an annotation called as joining table annotation. So similarly, joining column, we have one more annotation called as joining table. So I will not do, you just do that. It's there in material also. Just only thing is, instead of JPA taking its own table name with the combination of entity class names and identifier columns, if you want to give your own table name or whatever it is, so here you can define joining table, the name of the table. Okay, similarly, whatever the name you want to give, ABC XYZ, and here you will have one more option called as comma. The column names, you have two column names, right? So join columns. Okay, as an array of values, you will pass values here it is. So how many columns you have? Two columns. So if you want to give your own column names like XYZ, comma, some other column name instead of these column names, where it is? Yes, this one and this one. So if you want to give your own column names, you can configure here. Then JPA will give priority to these values and this third table will be created. Now in this case, table name will be ABC. I mean, I'm just taking like that. Okay, so a table name will become ABC. This is what JPA will do. It's a straightforward functionality. You just try that. Okay, let's insert the data now. Public void add employee. I'm just copy pasted. So this time also roles should be presented or not? Definitely. Developer role. Okay, so total 3 roles I defined. Let's do one thing. Employee one dot set low roles list of R1 comma R2. Okay, so here, so how many roles I'm assigning to the employee one? Two roles I'm assigning, R1 comma role 1 comma role 2. What is dev1 QA, right? So let's test it. Let me make it as none. Okay, so add employee. I defined three roles, but I added only two roles for this employee. So in the next step, I will add one more employee and I will add other roles also. And finally, I'm calling save method of employee one. So let's see here what's happening. So same scenario, same story, whatever happened earlier. So in this case also what's happening, it's verifying for the roles associated for the employee. We given input as what? I mean, we pass a value of employee data. So inside employee, it is identifying how many roles? Two roles. Then it is verifying JPA. Okay, R1 comma R2. So what is the R1 and R2 like? Okay, IT and development and QA roles assigned for the person. So first of all, those roles are available or not in the table. Is it available for the first time? Not available. So then what it is doing? While inserting the employee details, it's inserted into roles table or not, right? Similarly, what is this? The joining table level, it's maintaining the relationship point data. So now let's go and verify the table structure, refresh. Okay, what is this table? Employee detail, roles. So you have 100 and those roles and go to the, yeah, this one. Yeah. Yeah. So if you see here, 101 and 100 role ID. I think it's better to give 10. Okay, but anyway, you understood. I thought of giving 10 comma 12. Okay, fine. Anyway, same confusing with 101, 101. But you just understood. Like, so you're understanding now what's happening again here. So even relationship point of view, see the joining table here. Oh, I can see so many mails. What is your problem, Amelia, Sarah? How many days to complete? If you want me to complete, I'll complete within next week. So this is what, okay, maybe roles is this side. This is this side. So this is what the relationship you are maintaining in between three tables. ID, foreign key, employee ID, foreign key to for this column. Okay. See, when you want to do something like it's all again depends on the cascade operations also. You have to define cascades very well, very close. I mean, related to the requirement point of view, which operation has to be done only select level, the operation has to be done, or it has to be done only insert level, or it has to be done only delete level. Like that, based on that, you have to define the cascade operations. Okay, so this is how the mappings is going to work. So I know that it's not that much easy to understand within 1 day or 1 hour or 2 hours, because this is internally reflecting the knowledge of SQL, the knowledge of foreign key relationships, joins, all these things. Okay, please make sure yourself strong in the SQL first, then only concentrate on the JPA framework. Then you will understand. Don't go in a JPA versus SQL, SQL versus JPA. The things whatever available in the SQL, those are being supported by the JPA framework. It's not like JPA is supporting something so that I have to support SQL. No, whatever done, whatever possible in SQL, that is what supported by the JPA framework. So that's why we have to be very clear with respect to SQL first. Then you can understand JPA, how it is happening internally and all. Okay, so let's do one thing. So tomorrow what I will do, these are very, very small things only. Okay, it's just like this is part of Spring Boot only. This is also part of Spring Boot. This is not part of Spring Boot, but still I'll help you. It's a simple technique. Okay, I will discuss somehow, somewhere I will involve. So what I will do tomorrow is, I will start first of all, the Spring Web module tomorrow. It's the most important, the ultimate module. Finally, what you have to focus or what you have to learn when you want to say yourself as a Spring Boot developer. Other than that, you are not a Spring Boot developer. If you don't know the Spring Web module or Spring Boot Web module, don't say like I know the Spring Boot. Okay, the ultimate goal of learning all these core module, JDBC, I mean, JPA is all about database connectivity, that's fine. But the ultimate goal of using Spring framework in every real-time project is because of this module only, Spring Web module. So this is what you need ultimately, and you should have good knowledge in Spring Web module. Otherwise, it's very difficult to get a job or maybe cracking interview of Spring interviews. Okay, so just concentrate. As part of this web module, I will give you very clearly, and the more focus area is REST API. What it is? REST API. You don't know the importance of REST API nowadays. Okay. Okay. So you don't know the importance of REST API. I will give you one fine day. The real importance of REST API is nowadays how things are happening in every application, irrespective of any programming language. Now you guys are going to the Python. If you are observing, okay, there also now people are teaching more and more about the REST API. If you are going to the .NET, they are teaching the REST API. In our Spring, we are learning the REST API. So that means the concept of REST API is very popular and very heavily used in every programming language. Even if you go to the React or whatever it is, people will teach you how to integrate API services. Okay, so that means nowadays the industry is all, I mean, the real-time projects is, I can say like more than 90 percentage, not even less than 90, more than 90 percentage, the applications are being implemented only REST APIs and integrating the REST APIs, integrating REST services. This is what happening in every real-time application. I will give you in the demo point of view, what is REST API and all. So which is being really used in industry. Out of the Spring Boot web module also, I will tell you, the only concept is nowadays REST API. Okay, so I will tell you what is REST API and all, how it looks like. No, REST API is part of Spring Web module. By using Spring Boot web module or Spring Web module, we can implement REST services or REST APIs. It's part of Spring Web module, but not like Spring Web module. JUnit. JUnit I will not cover. Okay. I'll just give you one day one idea, but not detailed. Transactional, I explained already, Jacob. Okay, you just refer the notes. Okay, so that's all. We will